controversial, but we need to talk about the judging on the Great British Sewing Bee. I missed episode 5 because I was camping in Cornwall, and then last week I watched episodes 5 and 6 back to back. I have thoughts about both of these. So episode 5 was Reduce, Reuse, Recycle Week. Pattern challenge was zero waste, and I really 100% identified with the contestants that found the maths hard. This is something that I find really difficult too, especially when I'm self-drafting and I'm forever making mistakes. So I've no idea how the contestants keep it together with the cameras rolling. Really loved the tent transformation challenge, particularly given how many tents get abandoned after festivals. Absolutely loved Dan's winner. It was giving Christina Aguilera. If you are of a certain age like I am, you remember dancing to that in the clubs. Let's talk about the made to measure, where the contestants were asked to make a garment for a family event using charity shop finds or pre-loved clothing. You might have missed it, but there was a moment when Esme rolled her eyes at some of Jess's choices. When I clocked this, I think I might even have gasped. There's judging constructively and giving a critique. Then there's that. It felt really off for a show that's normally really supportive. The outfit that I loved the most actually on that week was Kaz's jumpsuit. Dan getting garment of the week was so deserved. Brilliant week for him. Found Jess going home a little heartbreaking actually. She shared on socials that she was going through a lot when they were filming. I think you could see that it did affect her experience. I just feel kind of sad that the experience wasn't what it could have been for her. Episode 6 was Children's Week. I nearly skipped this episode because even though I love my kids and I love sewing, Children's Week never does it for me on the Sewing Bee. Until this week. Loved the pattern challenge, which was about creating adaptive dungarees. Finally, we had an inclusive sewing challenge on the show. The transformation challenge, which was taking maternity wear and creating toddler play outfits, was really cool. Admitting that his make was the worst thing he'd ever made had me laughing so hard. It did look like the child was in a mop. Spray some disinfectant on, let them crawl around on the floor, and hey presto, you've got sparkling floors. I thought the made to measure was inspired what you wanted to be when you grew up challenge. So I wanted to be a princess or a nurse. Kate Middleton beat me to Prince William, but I became a doctor, so I pretty much achieved my dreams. Kaz's Zandra Rhodes inspired outfit was absolute genius. Bottom 2 were Gaynor and Dan. Gaynor made a ballerina-inspired outfit, impeccable sewing, but it didn't stretch her. Whereas Dan went really ambitious with his circus master outfit. He didn't finish in time. Dan was the one to go, and I thought that this felt inconsistent compared to the week before, where Jess left despite the fact that her finishing looked much better than Gaynor's, who was the other person that was in the bottom 2 with her. I'm not saying that the wrong person went home. It's just really hard to understand the criteria by which the contestants are being judged, and if it's hard for the viewer, it must be really hard for the contestants too. On a personal note, I was gutted to see Dan go because I've really loved his wit and his humour during this series. Prediction now for the final 3, I think it's going to be Kaz, Kit and Yasmin. I think Kaz is going to be our winner. Despite my thoughts about the judging, I still absolutely love this show and I cannot wait for Art Week. I have such high hopes for this episode.